Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Life is a journey, and on this journey, we all encounter relationships. But what happens when we trust someone only to find out that trust is betrayed? It happens to the best of us. It happens to people who thought they knew someone inside and out, only to be blindsided by a situation where loyalty is in question. So today, let's talk about something crucial: loyalty, and how to recognize when it's not there. We're going to talk about red flags, the signs that show when someone is not loyal, when they're not committed to you or the relationship in the way that you deserve. But I want you to listen closely. Loyalty is not just about trust. It's not just about fidelity. Loyalty is about character, about the person's values, their integrity, and how they treat you when you're not looking. I'm telling you right now, real loyalty doesn't have to be asked for. It shows up in action, in words, and in behavior. And when that loyalty isn't there, it's on you to recognize the signs and not ignore them. You can't afford to ignore the signs. The world moves fast, and people will move in and out of your life. But you need to know where to stand and what you stand and what you stand for. So pay attention to the signs that a woman isn't loyal. When you see them, you need to trust your instincts and make decisions that protect your peace, your happiness, and your future. Because let me tell you, if you ignore the red flags, you are setting yourself up for failure. Don't let anyone take away your peace or your future by being unaware or blind to what's right in front of you. Let's talk about the first red flag when she keeps things from you. Now listen to me. If you're in a relationship and there are things happening in her life, whether it's her past, her friends, her plans for the future, and you're the last to know about it, something's off. A woman who's loyal is going to make sure you're part of her life, part of the conversation. She's going to share things with you because she values you, because she wants you to be involved in her world. But when you're out of the loop, when you find out about important things through someone else, you have to ask yourself why. The second red flag I want to talk about is when she makes everything about her. Relationships require balance. It's not about one person always taking, always receiving. It's about both people giving, both people supporting one another. But if you're constantly giving your time, your attention, your love, and she's always taking, it's a sign of unbalanced loyalty. You have to ask yourself, is she invested in you or is she only invested in herself? Because when someone is loyal, they see you as a partner, as an equal, as someone who matters just as much as they do. Red flag number 3, when she's always secretive. If she's hiding her phone from you, avoiding conversations about certain people or events, or acting like she's got something to hide, that's a problem. Loyalty involves openness. It involves being transparent with your partner. It doesn't mean that you have to share everything every second, but if she's constantly acting suspicious or secretive, that's a sign that loyalty is missing. You need to trust the person you're with, and if you can't, that's a serious issue. It's not about controlling someone, it's about trusting them. But if they can't offer that trust, they're not loyal. The fourth red flag is when she starts to distance herself. Now, I'm not talking about occasional alone time. We all need that. But when you notice a sudden, consistent lack of effort or withdrawal, especially emotionally, that's a red flag. When loyalty is present, you'll find that your connection only grows stronger over time. You'll find that the distance doesn't widen, it closes. But when that loyalty is absent, you'll feel it. She won't be as present. She won't care about your well-being in the way she used to. She'll stop showing up for you. Number 5, when she's disrespectful of your boundaries. If she's constantly pushing you to do things you're uncomfortable with, ignoring your needs or disrespecting your values, that's a huge sign that she's not loyal to you. Respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Without respect, you can't have loyalty. When someone is loyal, they understand your boundaries and they respect them. When they don't, it's a sign that they're not invested in you as a person, and that's something you need to pay attention to. The 6th red flag, when she's overly friendly with other men. Now, I'm not saying a woman can't have friends who are men, but there's a difference between friendly interactions and inappropriate behavior. If she's constantly texting, calling, or spending time with other men in ways that make you uncomfortable, that's a problem. Loyalty isn't about controlling someone, it's about mutual respect. When a woman is loyal, she's going to make sure her actions reflect her commitment to you. She's not going to be out there seeking validation or attention from other people. Red flag number 7, when she starts criticizing you constantly. Constructive criticism is one thing, constant negativity is something else entirely. A loyal woman will build you up, encourage you, and help you grow. But if she's always tearing you down, pointing out your flaws, or making you feel inadequate, that's a sign that she's not invested in the relationship. A loyal partner wants the best for you. They want to see you succeed, and they'll be there to support you every step of the way. But when she's constantly criticizing, it's a sign she's not in it for the long haul. The 8th red flag is when she never apologizes. When a person is loyal, they are willing to admit their mistakes and make things right. But if she never apologizes, never acknowledges her wrongs, and expects you to just move on without any accountability, that's a serious issue. Loyalty involves humility. It involves the willingness to own up to your mistakes, to make things right when you've hurt someone. A loyal person doesn't just sweep things under the rug, they face them head on and work to fix them. Red flag number 9, when she doesn't care about your feelings. This one is simple. If she's more concerned with her own emotions and doesn't take the time to understand or empathize with yours, she's not loyal. Loyalty requires empathy. It requires understanding. A woman who's loyal to you is going to care about how you feel. She's going to listen when you need to talk, and she's going to be there for you when you need support. But when she's only focused on herself, it's time to take a step back and reassess the relationship. And finally, red flag number 10, when she's never there for you. Loyalty means showing up when it counts. It means being there through the highs and the lows. But if you're going through tough times and she's nowhere to be found, if she's not there when you need her most, that's a huge sign that she's not loyal to you. Loyalty is about presence. It's about being there in both good times and bad. A woman who's loyal to you won't disappear when things get hard. She'll stand by your side no matter what. Now listen, I know no one's perfect. We all make mistakes. But these red flags are not about one-off incidents or small missteps. These are patterns. These are behaviors that, over time, will erode your trust and your peace. So don't ignore them. Pay attention to what's happening around you. Pay attention to how someone treats you, and ask yourself if they are truly loyal to you. If not, you have to make the tough decision to move on and protect yourself. Your peace, your heart, and your future are worth more than any relationship that is built on lies or disloyalty. Remember, loyalty isn't something that should be questioned, something you should have to beg for. It's something that should be evident from the start. When it's real, you'll feel it. You'll see it. It will show up in everything she does. But when it's not there, don't waste your time trying to make it work. Move forward. And know that you deserve someone who is loyal, someone who has your back, someone who is there for you every step of the way. So keep your eyes open. Don't ignore the red flags. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. And most importantly, protect your peace. Because in the end, that's what truly matters. The speech emphasizes the importance of identifying key signs of disloyalty in a relationship, such as secrecy, disrespect to boundaries, lack of effort, and emotional distance to protect one's emotional well-being. Mutual respect and balance. A loyal relationship requires balance. Both partners should give and receive equally. When one person is always taking or acting in a self-centered way, it signals a lack of commitment and loyalty. Loyalty is rooted in openness and trust. If a partner is hiding things, avoiding transparency, or acting secretive, it's a clear indication that the loyalty is absent. Loyalty in a relationship means being there for your partner emotionally, understanding their feelings, and offering support, especially during tough times. A lack of empathy or constant criticism is a sign of disloyalty. Protecting your peace. The speech stresses the importance of protecting your peace and not tolerating disloyalty or toxic behavior. It encourages trusting your instincts and walking away from relationships that do not honor your emotional and mental well-being. Recognizing red flags in a relationship can be one of the most difficult yet important things to do. It's not always easy to see the signs of disloyalty or toxic behavior when you're emotionally invested. Emotions can cloud judgment, and the desire for a relationship to succeed can sometimes overpower your instincts. But here's the truth: recognizing these red flags early on can save you from unnecessary heartache, confusion, and wasted time. It's not just about avoiding pain in the moment, but about protecting your emotional well-being, your self-respect, and ultimately your future. It is essential to understand that when you begin to notice these signs, you have a choice. You can either continue to ignore them, hoping things will improve, or you can take action to protect yourself and ensure that you're in a healthy, reciprocal, and loyal relationship. One of the most common and significant red flags is when a partner keeps things from you. It may start with little things like not sharing details about their day, their past, or their interactions with others. But as time goes on, the secrecy can grow. They may not be forthcoming about their plans, where they're going, or who they're seeing. A loyal partner doesn't hide things. A loyal partner is open and transparent because they value you in the relationship. When someone is being secretive, it may indicate they are not committed or they have something to hide. Secrecy often goes hand in hand with a lack of respect, because a loyal partner would want to make sure you are included in the important aspects of their life. It's not about controlling someone, it's about being partners in the truest sense. If you start to feel like you're on the outside of their life, that's a red flag. In a healthy relationship, communication is key. So when your partner isn't sharing things with you, it raises serious concerns. Of course, everyone is entitled to a certain level of privacy, but when this privacy extends into hiding meaningful parts of their life from you, it should raise questions. A loyal partner will make you feel like an integral part of their world, not an afterthought. The more you start noticing the inconsistencies or omissions in their stories, the more you should question why they feel the need to hide things. It could be a sign of dishonesty or an indication that they are not as invested in the relationship as you are. Another major red flag is when your partner makes everything about them. A healthy relationship should have balance. Both individuals should feel valued, heard, and respected. It shouldn't be a one-sided affair where one person's needs, wants, and feelings always take precedence over the others. If your partner constantly talks about themselves, their needs, and their desires without showing the same level of interest in your life, that's a clear sign of imbalance. It's a sign that they might not see you as an equal in the relationship, and that's a big problem. A loyal person will invest in understanding you, your hopes and your fears. They will want to know what makes you happy, what makes you feel safe, and how they can help you achieve your goals. If everything revolves around their world and their issues, then loyalty is in question. A loyal person wouldn't just take, they would also give. Relationships are about sharing time, emotions, and effort. If you are constantly the one giving and never receiving, that's a serious problem that shouldn't be overlooked. Secrecy and self-centeredness often lead to another critical red flag: disrespect of boundaries. If you're in a relationship and your partner repeatedly crosses your boundaries, whether those are emotional, physical, or mental, that is an immediate sign that they are not loyal to you. Boundaries are the foundation of respect in any relationship. They exist to protect your individuality, your personal space, and your emotional well-being. When someone disrespects these boundaries, they are essentially telling you that your feelings and comfort don't matter. Whether it's insisting on doing something you're uncomfortable with, disregarding your need for personal space, or pushing you to reveal things you're not ready to share, these are all signs of disrespect. A loyal partner will not only respect your boundaries, but will also communicate openly with you about their own. They will recognize your right to feel safe and secure, both emotionally and physically, and will make sure that those boundaries are never violated. There's a crucial aspect of loyalty that's often overlooked: emotional support. A loyal partner is there when times get tough. They listen, they empathize, and they offer help. They don't shy away from tough conversations or difficult emotions. But when your partner withdraws emotionally, it's a massive red flag. If they start becoming distant, if they stop showing concern for your struggles, or if they aren't there when you need them most, it signals that something is wrong. When a partner is truly loyal, they understand that relationships are not just about the good times. They understand that in difficult moments, that's when true loyalty is tested. It's easy to be supportive when everything is going well, but the measure of a person's loyalty is often revealed when life gets hard. If your partner is emotionally unavailable or consistently disengaged when you're facing challenges, you have to ask yourself if they are genuinely invested in the relationship. Loyalty is about showing up even when it's uncomfortable. It's about being present not just in the good times, but also when you're feeling down or when you're navigating personal struggles. If they consistently disappear when things get tough, you're likely dealing with someone who's not fully committed to you or the relationship. Another red flag that's often subtle but equally concerning is when your partner is overly friendly with others, particularly members of the opposite sex. Now, there's nothing wrong with having friends outside of the relationship, but there's a difference between maintaining healthy friendships and crossing boundaries. If your partner is constantly texting, calling, or spending time with someone else in a way that makes you uncomfortable, that's a clear red flag. Loyalty is about honoring the relationship you've built. If your partner is seeking validation or attention from others outside the relationship, especially when they know it's making you uncomfortable, they're not being loyal. A loyal partner will ensure that they maintain appropriate boundaries and that their actions reflect their commitment to you. They won't seek affection, attention, or validation from other people because they are already getting what they need from you, and they are committed to nurturing that bond. Red flags can also manifest in how your partner treats you in everyday interactions. If they constantly criticize you, tear you down, or make you feel inferior, this is a huge issue. Loyalty means supporting one another, lifting each other up. A loyal partner will want to see you grow, succeed, and become the best version of yourself. If your partner is always pointing out your flaws or making you feel less than, that's a sign they don't value you the way they should. Constant criticism, especially when it's not constructive, shows that they are more interested in controlling you or diminishing your self-worth rather than supporting you. A key aspect of loyalty is mutual respect. If your partner doesn't respect your feelings, your opinions, or your dreams, it shows that they are not truly invested in the relationship. They may claim to love you, but love without respect is not loyalty, it's manipulation. If they disregard your feelings, ignore your needs, or belittle your aspirations, you should recognize that this person is not treating you as an equal partner. Instead of growing together, you'll feel like you're being held back, and that's a dangerous place to be. One of the most painful red flags to recognize is when a partner never takes responsibility for their actions. If you find that they are never apologizing, never owning up to their mistakes, and always deflecting blame onto others or onto you, this is a serious sign of a lack of loyalty. A loyal person doesn't shy away from accountability. They admit when they've made a mistake, they own it, and they take steps to make things right. They understand that loyalty involves trust, and trust cannot be maintained without honesty and accountability. If your partner is constantly deflecting, making excuses, or blaming you for issues that are not your fault, they are showing you that they are not committed to improving the relationship or honoring the trust you've placed in them. Lastly, one of the most crucial red flags is when your partner is never there for you, especially when you need them most. A relationship is a partnership. It's about being there for each other through thick and thin. But if your partner is consistently absent when you need them, whether emotionally or physically, it shows that they're not invested in the relationship. Loyalty is about presence. It's about showing up, not just in the easy moments, but in the difficult ones too. If your partner is never there to support you, they are not truly loyal to you. They are only invested in the relationship when it benefits them, but they fail to show up when you need them the most. Recognizing these red flags isn't about being paranoid or distrustful. It's about being aware and protecting yourself. When you see these signs, it's essential to trust your instincts and take action. Loyalty is not just about staying faithful. It's about being committed, supportive, and respectful. When these things are lacking, it's time to reassess the relationship and determine whether it's worth continuing. You deserve someone who is equally invested in the relationship, someone who will be there for you, support you, and respect you every step of the way. So, don't ignore the red flags. Pay attention to what's happening around you, trust yourself, and make choices that protect your peace and happiness. In every relationship, whether romantic, professional, or even platonic, mutual respect and balance are the pillars that hold the entire structure together. They form the foundation of trust, understanding, and growth. Without them, relationships crumble. Too often, people enter into relationships where respect is only given under certain conditions, or they find themselves caught up in one-sided dynamics that aren't healthy. That's when you have to ask yourself, is there true balance? Is there mutual respect? Because without these two elements, no matter how strong the initial attraction or connection might seem, the relationship will eventually falter. Mutual respect means recognizing the inherent worth of another person, understanding that they have their own feelings, desires, and boundaries, and honoring them just as much as you want yours to be honored. It's understanding that your partner isn't an extension of you, but a separate individual with their own thoughts, needs, and dreams. In a truly balanced relationship, both people are willing to compromise, communicate openly, and support each other's growth. They don't try to control or manipulate the other into becoming who they want them to be. Instead, they foster an environment of understanding and partnership where both can thrive independently while still being united in their shared commitment. When mutual respect is present in a relationship, there's no room for domination or superiority. Both partners value each other equally and acknowledge that neither is more important than the other. This is especially true when it comes to decision-making. In a healthy relationship, both voices are heard, and the opinions of each person are given equal weight. A partner who respects you won't dismiss your ideas, shut you down, or belittle your thoughts. They'll listen, even if they don't always agree, and work with you to find solutions that consider both your perspectives. This doesn't mean there won't be disagreements or differences of opinion, but it does mean that those differences will be addressed respectfully and thoughtfully, with the aim of strengthening the bond between you. Respect isn't something that's just shown in grand gestures. It's present in the small moments, the everyday interactions. It's in the way someone speaks to you, the tone they use, and the way they treat you when no one else is around. It's the little things, like checking in to see if you're okay, giving you space when you need it, and offering encouragement when you're down. Respect is not conditional. It's not something that's given when it's convenient or when they're in the mood. True respect is a constant, unwavering element of the relationship. When respect is absent, it's impossible for balance to exist. Without it, the relationship becomes one-sided, with one partner constantly giving while the other takes, leaving one person exhausted, frustrated, and emotionally drained. Balance in a relationship goes hand in hand with mutual respect. If respect is the foundation, balance is the structure that holds everything up. Balance is about fairness, equality, and ensuring that both partners are contributing to the relationship in ways that feel just and right. It's about making sure that the give and take in the relationship is equally distributed. When one partner is always giving, whether it's their time, energy, or emotional investment, while the other is taking without giving anything back, the relationship becomes unhealthy. This kind of imbalance can lead to feelings of resentment, frustration, and even burnout. Balance ensures that both partners feel valued and appreciated, not just in the good times, but also when things are tough. Balance in a relationship is not just about how much one person gives in comparison to the other. It's about emotional reciprocity. It's about making sure that both partners are showing up for each other, both in the physical sense and the emotional sense. If one partner is constantly the one to initiate contact, make plans, or offer emotional support, while the other seems to be passive or disengaged, that's an imbalance. A healthy relationship requires both partners to be active participants, to check in on each other, to make sure the other person feels heard and valued. It's about making sure that both individuals' needs are met, not just one person's needs being prioritized over and over again. Balance also involves maintaining individuality within the relationship. It's easy to get lost in someone else, especially when the relationship is new and full of excitement. But in a truly balanced relationship, both partners are encouraged to grow individually while still nurturing their connection. This means supporting each other's personal goals, hobbies, and aspirations. Each person should feel empowered to pursue their own interests and dreams without feeling guilty or like they are neglecting the relationship. A healthy relationship allows both people to maintain their sense of self while fostering a deep and meaningful connection with one another. It's not about losing yourself in the other person. It's about growing together while also remaining true to who you are. When there is mutual respect and balance, there is space for both partners to express their feelings, concerns, and needs without fear of being dismissed or rejected. This kind of open communication is critical to maintaining a healthy relationship. Respecting one another means creating an environment where both people can be vulnerable and honest without fear of judgment. It means being able to voice your needs and concerns without being met with defensiveness or hostility. Instead, in a balanced relationship, both partners will listen with empathy, trying to understand each other's perspectives and working together to find solutions to any problems that arise. A balanced relationship also means respecting each other's time and energy. We live in a fast-paced world where it can feel like there's never enough time in the day. But in a relationship built on mutual respect, both people understand the importance of quality time and making space for each other. This means prioritizing the relationship even when life gets busy. It means making sure that both partners feel like their needs are being met, even if it requires some sacrifice. A relationship that is imbalanced in this way, where one person is always giving their time and the other is constantly distracted, can lead to feelings of neglect and isolation. Balance, in this case, comes from ensuring that both people are showing up for one another, even when it's hard to find time to connect. A true partnership is one where both people are willing to compromise. Compromise doesn't mean one person constantly giving in to the other, but rather both partners coming together to find solutions that work for everyone. When mutual respect and balance are present, compromise becomes an act of love and cooperation. It's about finding ways to make both people feel heard and valued, even when they don't always agree. A relationship without compromise will be a relationship filled with tension, resentment, and a sense of inequality. A partner who values respect will be willing to meet you halfway to work together to solve problems and to acknowledge that neither person is always right or always wrong. They will recognize that a relationship is a give and take process, one that requires flexibility, understanding, and cooperation. In a relationship where respect and balance are present, both partners will encourage and support each other's personal growth. They will be each other's cheerleaders, always pushing each other to be the best versions of themselves. This doesn't mean being overly critical or demanding, but rather offering guidance, encouragement, and constructive feedback when necessary. When you are in a balanced relationship, you both grow together as individuals and as a couple. You inspire each other to pursue your dreams, challenge each other to improve, and celebrate each other's successes. This kind of dynamic fosters not only mutual respect, but also mutual admiration, where both partners look at each other with pride, not just as their significant other, but as their equal and their partner in life. However, when there is no balance or respect in a relationship, the opposite happens. One partner feels constantly drained, unsupported, and undervalued, while the other feels entitled, as though their needs and desires are more important than those of their partner. This leads to an imbalance of power that is incredibly unhealthy. One person becomes the giver, the caretaker, the emotional support, while the other takes without ever offering anything in return. This dynamic is toxic and can lead to resentment, frustration, and eventually the end of the relationship. Without mutual respect, the relationship becomes one-sided and one person is left feeling invisible, neglected, and unimportant. It's important to remember that respect and balance are not just about the big moments in a relationship. They are about the day-to-day interactions, the small acts of kindness, the thoughtful gestures, and the attention to each other's needs. When both people are equally invested in maintaining this balance, the relationship becomes a nurturing, healthy environment for both people to grow and thrive. When respect is present, both partners feel seen, heard, and valued for who they truly are, not just for what they can provide or what they can do for the other person. In conclusion, mutual respect and balance are not optional in a relationship, they are essential. These elements allow both individuals to feel valued, supported, and understood. Without them, a relationship will never reach its full potential. When mutual respect and balance are present, both partners can grow together, pursue their individual dreams, and still remain deeply connected. It's the foundation upon which a healthy, thriving relationship is built. Without it, there can be no true partnership. Without respect, there is no foundation for a meaningful connection, and without balance, the relationship will become an emotional drain, eventually leading to its unraveling. Therefore, it is critical to prioritize these elements from the very start and ensure that both partners are fully committed to maintaining them for the long term. Respect and balance are the keys to a lasting, fulfilling relationship, and without them, no relationship can truly thrive. Transparency and trust are the cornerstones of any relationship that aims to stand the test of time. Without them, a relationship is nothing more than a fragile illusion, susceptible to cracks and fractures that form over time. These two elements are not optional, they are essential for building a foundation that supports mutual understanding, emotional connection, and the security necessary for love to flourish. Transparency is about being open and honest, sharing the details of your life with your partner without fear or hesitation. It's about being upfront with your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, knowing that vulnerability breeds intimacy. Trust, on the other hand, is the belief that your partner has your best interests at heart, that they will honor their commitments, and that they will be there for you no matter what. Without transparency, trust cannot exist. If you're hiding parts of yourself, keeping secrets, or withholding information, you're essentially telling your partner that you can't be trusted. And when trust is broken, it is incredibly difficult to rebuild. The damage is often done, and the emotional distance that follows is hard to overcome. Transparency means you're not afraid to share your truth, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable it may be. It means being willing to be fully seen by the other person without masks, without pretending, without holding back. And when both people in a relationship are transparent, trust begins to flourish because they know there's nothing to hide. There is nothing more powerful than knowing that your partner is always truthful with you, that they will never lie, withhold, or deceive you. At the core of transparency is communication. Effective communication is the bridge between two people, allowing them to share their worlds, to understand each other's thoughts and emotions, and to work together toward mutual understanding. Communication isn't just about speaking, it's about listening. Listening with empathy and without judgment. It's about giving your partner the space to express themselves, to share their fears, hopes, dreams, and struggles, and knowing that their words will be met with openness and respect. If you're truly transparent with your partner, you invite them into your world. You allow them to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, and trust that they will accept you for who you are, flaws and all. That kind of acceptance is what builds trust. It creates a safe space where both partners can be their authentic selves, knowing that they are supported and understood. Trust is also built on consistency. Trust isn't something that can be won overnight. It's earned through consistent actions that align with the words spoken. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. If you make a promise, you keep it. If you commit to a relationship, you show up for it every single day. Trust is about reliability. It's about knowing that your partner will be there for you when you need them, that they will follow through on their promises, and that they will not disappoint you. A relationship built on trust is one where both partners feel secure, where there's no fear of betrayal or abandonment, because both people know that they have each other's back, no matter what. Transparency and trust also go hand in hand when it comes to dealing with conflict. In any relationship, there will be disagreements, misunderstandings, and moments of tension. But it's in these moments that transparency and trust are tested the most. When conflicts arise, transparency means you're not hiding behind defensiveness or avoiding difficult conversations. You're willing to be vulnerable, to admit when you're wrong, to express how you feel without manipulation or dishonesty. Trust means that even in times of conflict, both people know they are still on the same team. It's about having the confidence that the other person won't use your words against you, that they won't twist the truth or hold things over your head. Trust allows both partners to have honest, open, and sometimes difficult conversations without fear that the relationship will collapse or that they will be abandoned. One of the most important aspects of transparency is the willingness to share your past, your experiences, and your challenges. It's easy to present a version of yourself that only shows the highlights, the successes, the accomplishments, the happy moments, but true intimacy is built on sharing everything, even the hard stuff. This doesn't mean that you have to disclose every single detail of your life, but it does mean being willing to share the parts of yourself that have shaped you, that have made you who you are today. When you're transparent with your partner, you invite them into your personal story. You allow them to understand your fears, your vulnerabilities, and your struggles. And when you do that, you allow them to see the real you, not just the version of yourself that you think they want to see. Trust also means being able to forgive and move forward. There will be times when transparency is tested, when one partner makes a mistake or falls short of expectations. In these moments, trust is what allows the relationship to survive. Trust is not about being perfect. It's about knowing that mistakes can be forgiven, that growth is possible, and that both partners are committed to learning from their mistakes and making things right. Without trust, forgiveness becomes impossible. If you don't trust your partner, you won't believe that they are sincere in their apologies or that they are truly trying to make amends. Trust is the foundation of forgiveness, and without it, resentment and bitterness will take root, slowly eroding the connection between you. Another crucial aspect of transparency is the willingness to share your feelings as they arise, rather than letting them build up inside. Often, people avoid sharing their emotions because they fear conflict or rejection. But when you bottle up your feelings, they only grow more intense over time, leading to resentment and misunderstandings. Transparency means being honest about how you feel in the moment, whether it's happiness, sadness, anger, or confusion. It's about expressing your emotions openly without fear of judgment. And when both partners are transparent about their emotions, they create an environment where feelings can be discussed and processed in a healthy way. When you're transparent about your emotions, you're also giving your partner the opportunity to do the same. You're creating a space where both of you can be vulnerable. And in that vulnerability, trust is built. However, transparency is not about oversharing or invading each other's privacy. It's about finding the right balance between openness and respect for boundaries. You don't have to share every single thought or detail of your partner, but you should be open about the things that matter most to the relationship. Transparency is about knowing when to be open and when to give each other space. It's about striking a balance between sharing your world and respecting each other's individual privacy. In a healthy relationship, both partners feel comfortable with the level of transparency, knowing that it fosters intimacy and strengthens the connection between them. Trust is also about being dependable, not just emotionally, but physically and mentally. If you say you will be there for someone, if you promise to support them, then you show up. Trust isn't just about being there in the good times, it's about showing up when things are tough, when life throws challenges your way. When your partner is going through a hard time, trust means being present, even when it's difficult, even when it's uncomfortable. Trust means showing up for each other, even when it requires sacrifice or effort. It's about making the other person feel valued, even when life gets overwhelming. Ultimately, the combination of transparency and trust creates a sense of security in a relationship. When you're transparent, you're giving your partner the truth. And when you trust, you're showing them that you believe in their honesty. This security allows both partners to relax, to feel safe, and to focus on building a stronger connection. In a relationship where transparency and trust are present, both individuals feel free to be themselves, to grow, and to explore their lives together, knowing that they have a solid foundation to stand on. Trust and transparency are not just about avoiding betrayal or dishonesty. They are about creating an environment where both people can thrive, where both individuals feel supported, understood, and valued. Without transparency and trust, relationships are bound to struggle. Secrets, lies, and misunderstandings can slowly erode the bond that holds two people together. But when both partners commit to being open, honest, and trustworthy, the relationship becomes a source of strength. It becomes a partnership built on a foundation of mutual respect, vulnerability, and understanding. Trust and transparency create a space where both partners feel empowered to share their truth, to express their needs, and to support each other through life's challenges. They are the glue that holds a relationship together, the bedrock upon which a lasting, meaningful connection is built. Empathy and support are the two pillars that form the essence of a deeply connected relationship. These two qualities, when combined, provide a framework for understanding, healing, and growth. In every interaction, when you can connect on an emotional level and offer genuine support, you lay the groundwork for a relationship that is resilient, compassionate, and fulfilling. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in another person's shoes, to understand and share their feelings, even when you may not have experienced their particular situation yourself. It involves deep listening, patience, and the willingness to truly understand another's emotional landscape. Support, on the other hand, is the action that follows empathy, the tangible way in which you show up for someone else, offering help, encouragement, and comfort when needed. When you combine empathy with support, it creates a dynamic where both partners feel seen, heard, and cared for. In a relationship built on empathy, both individuals are attuned to each other's emotional needs. They take the time to understand not just what the other person is saying, but how they are feeling. It's about paying attention to the subtle cues, the nonverbal signals, and the emotions that lie beneath the surface. Empathy is about stepping outside of yourself and attempting to understand what the other person is going through without judgment. It's about offering a safe space for vulnerability where both individuals can express their feelings openly without fear of rejection or criticism. Support, when paired with empathy, makes the connection even stronger. Support is the act of caring for someone, of helping them through their struggles, and providing them with the resources, encouragement, or comfort they need. It's not just about offering advice or solutions, but about standing beside the person in their time of need. True support goes beyond words. It's about actions. It's about being there for someone when they feel overwhelmed, offering a shoulder to lean on, or a listening ear when they need to vent. Support means putting aside your own needs, at least temporarily, to help someone else navigate their difficulties. It requires patience, understanding, and the willingness to be present in a way that makes the other person feel valued and important. When empathy and support are present in a relationship, they create a sense of safety and security. Both partners know that they are in a relationship where their feelings matter, where their emotional well-being is a priority. This emotional safety fosters trust, as both individuals feel free to share their thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment or dismissal. In this environment, it becomes easier to open up, to be vulnerable, and to work through challenges together. Without empathy, it's difficult to truly understand what the other person is going through. And without support, it becomes difficult to provide the help that is needed to navigate life's struggles. Empathy and support are especially crucial during times of hardship. Life is full of challenges, whether it's a personal struggle, a difficult work situation, or a family issue. During these times, it is the empathy and support of a partner that can make all the difference. When you are experiencing pain, stress, or sadness, having someone who can genuinely empathize with your situation is invaluable. Empathy allows your partner to validate your emotions, to show that they understand the gravity of your experience. It is in these moments that empathy becomes a source of healing. When you know that someone else truly feels your pain, it eases the burden. And when that empathy is coupled with active support, whether it's emotional, physical, or practical, the healing process becomes even more profound. Support can come in many forms, from offering words of encouragement, helping with chores, or simply being there to listen when things get overwhelming. The combination of empathy and support turns a difficult situation into something that is manageable, because you know that you're not facing it alone. In relationships, people often face misunderstandings, disagreements, and emotional turmoil. During these moments, it is empathy that allows one partner to see things from the other's perspective. Without empathy, a disagreement can escalate into a conflict, with both individuals entrenched in their own positions, unwilling to listen to the other. But when empathy is present, both individuals are more willing to step back, to listen, and to try to understand the other person's feelings and point of view. This doesn't mean that one person is always right and the other wrong, but it creates space for both people to express their emotions and find common ground. Empathy softens the edges of a confrontation, allowing it to become a conversation rather than a battle. Support also plays a critical role in conflict resolution. When two people disagree, it's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, to focus on winning the argument or proving a point. But when support is present, both people feel safe enough to engage in the conversation without fear of being attacked, dismissed, or belittled. Support means showing up for each other, even when you don't agree. It means respecting each other's viewpoints, even if they differ from your own, and offering solutions that benefit both parties. Instead of using words as weapons, you use them to build understanding, and you use actions to demonstrate your commitment to resolving the issue. The emotional support in this process is what allows both people to feel heard and valued, even when the conversation is difficult. In this way, support and empathy can transform a conflict into an opportunity for growth, strengthening the bond between partners rather than creating division.